Welcome to Sarpy Outlook, dedicated to promoting democratic principles from an issue-based perspective. However, this season, we are focusing on candidates who promote these objectives and ideals and are running for public office. I'm Marta Neives, and our guest today is Jack Bangert, who is running for Bellevue City Council at large seat. Thank you for being with us, Jack.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about the candidacy and the office that we're running for.
Great, great. Jack is a lifelong Nebraskan. He has been a teacher and coach in the Omaha Public Schools for 11 years. In 2009, he moved to Omaha South High School to become the director of the dual language program. Jack is currently the freshman-sophomore transition coordinator and director of the Education Academy. He also serves as the adjunct instructor at the University of Nebraska and at Metropolitan Community College. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, Jack.
Well, I'm originally from Falls City, Nebraska. I grew up on a farm 10 miles northeast of Falls City. After high school, I graduated from Falls City Sacred Heart in 1995. Went on to the University of Nebraska, where I earned my degree in Bachelor of Science in Agronomy and a minor in Ag Economics. Went back home to the family farm, got married to my high school sweetheart. We've been married 16 years now.
Wow.
Have 3 kids, live here in Bellevue. They attend Bellevue Public Schools. After we got married, though, in 2000, we decided that maybe farming wasn't for me, and she wasn't really sure what she wanted to do, so we joined the Peace Corps. We lived in Ecuador for 2.5 years as Peace Corps volunteers. After that, we decided to change our career. She went in to become a physician's assistant, and I took the path of becoming a teacher and ended up in the Omaha Public Schools working in bilingual education because I wanted to continue to practice my Spanish.
Great.
And so I worked there, and after 4 years at RMR's Magnet, I became a football coach at Omaha South, which I still do to this day. I moved over to Omaha South and took over the dual language program, became the director of that program, where I helped students not only practice their bilingual skills, but go on to college. And then the last 2 years, I've changed roles. I'm no longer involved in the dual language program. I'm working as a freshman-sophomore transition coordinator, and I also direct the Education Academy, which recruits and looks for our future teachers, especially within our own school, to come back and work with the community.
That is so important, and I really like the future focus that you have. How did you decide to run for the Bellevue City Council?
Well, Paul Hartnett approached me a couple years ago about running for the Ward 2 seat, but I have little kids. My youngest daughter, Evelyn, was just born, so it wasn't a good time. Mm-hmm. And then the at-large seat was open, and Don Preisner and Carol Blood approached me about maybe running for that position. And I thought the time was right, and honestly, I'm fortunate. I've been blessed with a lot of good things, and I think it's only right that we give back through community service, and this seemed like a great way. And honestly, I think Bellevue faces some major challenges, and I hear from my neighbors, I hear from my coworkers who live in Bellevue that we need new leadership. We need people with my perspective. I'm a 39-year-old father of 3. My kids go to the public schools. We use the pools. We use the parks. I think that I would bring something a little different. Plus, my life experience, my managerial experience within the schools will be a plus on the council. And I think I have a way of, using my background as a teacher to educate the public and our leaders on what's important and how best to maybe move the city forward. So,
absolutely. You can count me in.
All right. That's good. That's good. Every vote counts.
And you've mentioned your leadership skills, and looking at your resume, you really have been not only an advocate of education, but you have made every possible option for yourself of getting educated so that you can contribute. What issues do you see facing Bellevue? You mentioned that there were a few issues, and how would you address that on the city council?
Well, over the last 2 months, I've had a chance to meet with a lot of people. I met with Jim Ristow at the Chamber of Commerce, Jeff Roberts at Public Works, Perry Guido, the fire department, Dave Stuckenholtz with the police department, and a lot of other people. I've been talking and trying to figure out how we move forward. And the thing I notice is our managers are very stressed out because there are limited funds, and we are the 3rd largest city in the state of Nebraska. Yes. We don't spend as much as our neighbors per citizen. But we also have very good services. Like, as somebody that works in Omaha, our streets are clean in Bellevue. I cross Harrison Street. They're not as clean. I see police constantly on our streets in Bellevue. They do a great job of keeping us safe, of keeping crime down in our city. I know that I talk to my friends who live across Harrison Street. The response isn't always as good. And I want to make sure that our services continue to be great. And I think we are at a tipping point in Bellevue where you don't get something for nothing. We have to invest in our city. Our parks and pools are a huge priority for me as a father, as somebody that works with kids. It attracts the kind of people to our city that we want. And those are young families who pay taxes, who have jobs, who have those incomes that are going to make our quality of life better. And if we don't invest in those things to attract them, our neighbors are. Papillion's investing, Gretna's investing.
Yes.
And so we really have a choice to make in Bellevue. Do we want to become Omaha Light, or do we want to become a destination? Because I'm telling you, Bellevue has a lot of great things that those places don't have. I can walk and ride my bike to work. I don't have to spend an hour and a half in a car to go to work. Neither does my wife. That is a huge thing. As commutes get worse, Bellevue is well positioned to be a great place to live and work. And I think we need to invest. And it's in everybody's interest, not just the young people and the young families, but our older residents.
Yes.
They have to decide, do we want to invest in our community and attract people like my wife and I to their neighborhoods, to be their neighbors, or do they want us to move to these other communities and attract maybe people who would be less desirable as their neighbors? I mean, really, it comes down to investment.
Well, yes. And yeah, things that are happening, I have seen that, you know, and we do have such potential.
Oh.
Bellevue is an amazing city. There's several proposals that I understand are in the works. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, the first thing I think that's huge, and perhaps our current council will take this on. They're talking about a restaurant tax and increase in sales tax. We have to come up with an answer to raise more revenue. Public Works is short 10 people. The fire department, we know they have to fund 44 positions. Those things aren't just going to happen. And if we keep saying, oh, we'll get grants, that's financially irresponsible. We need to have a fixed revenue stream that will pay for those things. And then if we're lucky enough to win these grants and other things like that, invest that into our city, use it to reduce costs, to go into a rainy day fund so we're financially stable. We have hard choices to make, and I'm willing to go out and convince people that we need to make the hard choices now, because really we're in a window of about 5 to 6 years where we're going to decide, like you said, do we want to be Omaha Light, or do we want to compete with Papillion? Because I'm telling you, there's no reason we should be playing catch up to our neighbors. We have too much to offer and too many good things, and I think that all of us who campaign, really, once we're elected, the campaign doesn't stop. Then we've got to go to our residents and we have to convince them that this is the right thing to do and that we're a strong community with great schools, and we're going to fix our school boundaries working with our state senators to make our community stronger.
Yeah, well, I can see you're carrying a lot of passion, so I trust that it's going to happen because you're really passionate about it.
You know, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little selfish. You know, we bought a house in Bellevue. We put money into it. We have a financial stake in it. My wife and I pay a lot of taxes. My kids go to school here. I don't want to move. You know, I don't want to leave. I want to stay here. I love where I live. I love my neighbors. I think we're a strong community. We're a military town. It's a great place to live, and I think together we can do it.
That's really great. Well, you've shared a lot with us. Is there anything else that you want to share with the listeners?
Well, I think, you know, over the next few months, you're going to have an opportunity to talk to people who are running. My background is really unique. I work for the Omaha Public Schools, which is a difficult place to work. It's not because of the kids and the families, but when you work in a large bureaucracy, your leadership is challenged a lot. And the people who work with me, like me or not, they know that I'm willing to stand up and do and make hard decisions that I think are right. And you know what? I'm not right all the time. And I think that is a huge thing. Humility is a beautiful thing. I'm willing to learn. And if we're wrong about something, then I'll be the first person to admit it and we're going to move on. But I think that we really need to convince our community that it's time to invest. It's time for new leadership, and we can do it together. But really, this is just the first step.
Well, it's been a real pleasure talking with you, and it seems to me that you are eminently qualified to serve on the Bellevue City Council. Now, if anyone would like to volunteer for your campaign or to support you,
time for my shameless
folks.
plug.
Absolutely.
JackBangert.com. You can contact me there. There's a message site, so you can definitely get a hold of me. You can read about what we're doing, our events coming up. Also, our Facebook page, Jack Bangert for City Council. Go and like us. The more likes we get, the better. Then also you can follow us at Jack Bangert at Twitter as well. The Twitter account and the Facebook account are linked. Feel free to contact me, ask questions, invite me to your community meetings. I want to come talk, but more importantly, I want to listen to what maybe our citizens are thinking. And I think together we can get through this. And hopefully winning the election, like I said, is the first step, but the real campaign is after, making strides forward to help our community get stronger and compete with our neighbors.
And I know you're going to ask for the vote, right?
Yes, I would love to have your vote. So my name's Jack Bangert. I live in Fontenelle Hills. I need your help. Without you, we can't do it. But I'm willing to go out there and make those hard decisions for the community and hopefully, listen to everyone and come up with the best solutions, working with our city council and our other leaders to really make Bellevue stronger and a better place to live.
Great. Well, I wish you all the best.
All right. Well, thank you very much.